Hello everyone, this is Tip Top Gaming here today with another Brawl MTG Arena video. Now if you guys didn't know, this week on my channel is Brawl Week. It's the second to last day, but what is Brawl Week? Basically, every day this week I am posting a Brawl gameplay video, and they all focus around a 3-color legendary creature from Core Set 2020. Now today, I am playing Omnath. Now, Omnath cares about really two things. He cares about elementals and land entering the battlefield. So, the majority of this deck is just elementals, such as Risen Reef or other elementals like that, and then it pretty much just builds around that. It's really simple and not as complex as some of my previous decks, however, it's still really fun. Alrighty, why don't we jump right into the gameplay? Alrighty, so getting into this first game, we are playing against a Dovin deck, which I don't see very many of these, as I don't particularly see him as a very strong commander, but who knows? So, this opening hand is very expensive, so I really hope we pull into something. At this rate, we'll be playing that Undergrowth Champion and then Omnath the next turn. I'd like to get a 1 or 2 drop. I should probably leave that land on the bottom, but since my hand is so expensive, I thought that, maybe I should keep it on top so I can actually play the things in my hand. So I pull it. Obviously, I don't know if that was the smartest decision because Domri can actually ramp me into most of my spells, except for the Cavalier. So I keep pulling really expensive stuff, but it's turn 3. I get out my Overgrowth Elemental. He already has his commander on the field, but that's not super important. What he decides to do is attack with his 2/2, and then he doesn't use Dovin because, obviously it's not a threat with Kethis on the field. So that's interesting. Now what I'm able to do is I'm able to play my Escaping Scorcher. Now the reason I play this here is because I want to play Omnath next turn, and if I play Omnath next turn, I'll have my elemental count up to 5, and I'll be able to attack Kethis. Not Kethis, oh my god, God Eternal Kefnet. And so I'm able to do that. Now, I do pull a land, which is cool. Now, what I should do is I should play Omnath first, if I'm being smart, but I'm not. Because that would have been a double land trigger for Omnath, and I would have been able to put 2 counters on things, but that's fine. Either way, I managed to take down God Eternal Kefnet. Now, obviously, it'll be back in a couple turns, but it's able to get out of there for a decent amount of time, and then I'll be able to fight it with Domri, hopefully, because every turn I play a land, I get stronger. Now, I decide to sacrifice one of my elementals, I think. I decided to sacrifice both of them to kill the 2/2. The reason I didn't block with Omnath is because it was obviously a trap, but I didn't really care about the 2/1/1s. Now, the reason he did it is because he was actually board wiping, so I ended up not really affecting much, except I guess I didn't take as much damage. Now, what I'm able to do, though, is quickly recover by playing Domri, and then I'm able to +1 him to then play Thicket Crasher, which will make all my other elementals stronger in the future. It really kind of sucks, though, because that Lavakin Brawler, I believe is his name, it would have been super nice with all those elementals on the field, but it's fine. I can recover. What I'm able to do is I believe what I'm gonna do is play Omnath. No, what I decided to do is play Cavalier. Now, the reason I play this is I play it, which allows me to discard any number of cards. I discard the ramp because I don't need it, but I create a red mana, and then I use that to give everything haste and trample, which includes itself, and then I'm able to attack his planeswalker, so he stops making my creatures basically useless. So, I mean, he can waste his whole turn replaying it, or he can do something else, and so this makes it harder for him to play things like Kefnet. So instead he plays Angelic Exaltation, which I don't know if that was the smartest decision, but what I'm able to do is create a green mana to play Healer of the Glade. Not super, cool, but I have Lavakin Brawler, and then I give everything haste, I swing, and oopsie, I have lethal. So that game turned around very quickly. I just went from basically 0 to killing him, which is pretty fun, and that's what this deck is really good at. Now, this is a very Planeswalker heavy hand, but I decided not to keep it because it's not very good. Now, of course, I'm a lot more aggressive with mulliganing in Brawl because you get your free mulligan, obviously. Now, Here, I have Once Upon a Time, which is always really nice. It allows me to get better fixing. And now, of course, that does send Domri to the bottom of my deck, which I don't know if that was the smartest decision, but either way, he would have been put down there. I'm able to get out Creeping Trailblazer, which allows all my elementals to be stronger. Now, this game is very crazy. Like, I love it. But, so we have Cloud Concealer, but then I decided to play Overgrown Elemental just in case something happens. I like to be able to get that counter off, and it allows me to attack and not have him block with Arboreal Grazer. However, he does use that to fight it, which is kind of infuriating, but it's fine. I play Castle Embrace, and then Scorch Bitter to then boost my elemental count again, so I can next turn Omnath and kill something. Omnath isn't that great as a kill spell because they can see it coming, but, like, other than that, it works pretty well in a full elemental deck, because obviously the later in the game, the more you're going to have. Now I'm able to shock that in, and I fight the 2-2 with reach, because the 3-4 is just a 3-4 trample. The 2-2 has reach, and it, like, can get bigger really fast, so I decide that it's the bigger threat. And then I pull Risen Reef. Now, I a while ago posted a video on this channel. It was a standard gameplay video, and it was a Risen Reef, basically duplicating Risen Reef a whole bunch, and you get a very similar effect. I mean, he works really well in this deck for the fact that he both is an elemental and Omnath appreciates lands entering the battlefield. So I'm able to basically put a counter on my flyer. I'm trying to make it bigger than Roil-esque there, but what I'm able to do is use the quasi duplicate I just created on my Risen Reef. And so, basically, I'm able to have a lot more lands into the battlefield, which means I start drawing more cards, I start putting more counters on things, and I just have more cards in my hand. So overall, I have this really good engine going. And next turn, I can safely trade, or I can trade now, but I can not worry about the Roil-esque. Now, sure, it proliferates twice, which would be annoying, but it's not huge. Now, what I'm able to do is play Chandra, which is pretty awesome, and you'll see why. It's because, well, when you have 3 Risen Reefs on the field. So first off, I get the 3 Risen Reef triggers here. And so I'm able to put more lands on the field, but then I'm able to create 2 elementals, which creates 6 Risen Reef triggers. And so I'm able to keep putting lands on the battlefield, keep drawing cards, keep putting counters on things. So I'm starting to get very, like, beefy now. I have to worry about milling myself because this deck isn't supposed to be a Risen Reef mill deck, which is kind of what that other deck was. So it had Jace in it. Here I could actually mill myself, but I have to decide what the best thing to play here is. And I ended up deciding that Chandra is because she can boost all elementals, which is everything on my field. And now what I should do, I should have attacked with the elementals that killed themselves at the end of the turn, but, like, I didn't for some reason. But I attack with the giant creature, and he kind of just times out. I think he would have blocked, especially since Roil-esque has that whole on-death trigger thing. But apparently he's just gonna time out. And so that means it automatically lets the blocker through, or the attacker through, so I hit him for 12 in the air. So next turn, I'm able to hit him for a lot. Next turn, I have lethal, basically. Now, I have that Cavalier Flame in my hand. Now, he plays Ronus. Now, I think this was his plan, was that he was going to double play Ronus, and he was going to win. And I'm like, oh god, I think I've just lost. Like, I went from about to win to about to lose. And the craziest thing happens. Ready? Are you waiting for it? Are you ready for it? I don't think you're ready for it. He sits there. And he has no timers. And he is calculating, I think. But then he runs out of time, and so all those boosts go away. I get to go back to my turn, and he's timing out, yada yada yada. So basically he left. So I would have lost, but I didn't. So I just thought this game was really awesome with the Risen Reef, so I felt like I had to include it. So I basically create more 1/1 elementals to see what other fun cards I can pull off the top of my library. I now fill up my hand like crazy. I play Chandra, and then I completely annihilate his Roil-esque, which basically means I win, because now he has no flying blockers. because he's been very on and off about being in this game, so I was afraid he would block, and then I'd have to wait a turn and risk dying. So I managed to kill him with Chandra, and then I just swing with everything, and I deal a ton of damage. Alrighty guys, that's gonna do it for this video. I know that was only 2 games, but the last game was very long, and it was very dynamic and very interesting. That was really fun Magic. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. There's only one more day of Brawl Week, and so that'll be tomorrow. You guys should check back tomorrow, hit that subscribe button to stay notified, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!